Good evening. I'd like to call this Coventry Town Council meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pasqua is absent this evening. Councilmember Capaldi is absent. Councilmember Shockley. Here. Vice President LeBlanc.
Here.
President Lima.
Here, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the event of an emergency this evening, those present can exit outdoors labeled either 1 or 2 in the back of council chambers to the back parking lot or front lawn of Town Hall. At this time, we'll move on to meeting minutes from prior meetings. We have the minutes of April 9th open session, April 9th executive session, April 23rd open session, and April 23rd executive session. Members of the council, I'd ask that we table or continue the April 9th executive session minutes. The clerk told me those are still being worked on. So we'll, do I have a motion to continue those?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Motion passes.
At this time, I'll seek a motion to approve the minutes of April 9th, 2024 open session, April 23rd, 2024 open session, and April 23rd, 2024 executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc.
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Shockley. Discussion. I actually do have a couple of minor edits or suggest amendments. Starting on line 23 of April 9th minutes. I hope this is okay with you. Just a tiny thing, if we can spell LeBlanc as one word for the record, please. In the votes, all the roll call votes, it's just 2 words. The next one in April 9th. Page 9 of 11 of the minutes, page 14 in our packet, line 390. The words resolutions and amendments are transposed. It should be President Lima stated they need to make amendments to the resolution. And then moving to the April 23rd open session minutes. On page 3 of 10 of the minutes, page 19 of our packet, line 123, there's an extra period to be removed. Page 5 of 10 of these minutes, page 21 in our packet, line 194. The question mark at the end of that sentence should be just a period. And on page 10 of those minutes, page 26 in our packet, lines 413 and 418, the last name is Ferro. And those are my suggested amendments. I'll make a formal motion for those.
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Motion passes.
We'll now take a motion to approve the amended minutes of April 9th, April 23rd, and April 23rd.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc.
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley.
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc.
Yes.
President Lima.
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Motion passes.
We'll now move to public comment on docketed items. This is public comment for those items on our agenda this evening. If you'd like, come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Any members in council chambers? Any members of the public on Zoom? Public comment on docketed items only, those items on our agenda this evening. Please raise your hand to be let in. Going once. Going twice. 3 times. Public comment on docketed items is now closed. We'll now move to licenses. Item A, new victualling license, Twin Coast Tropicals Incorporated, doing business as Tropical Smoothie Cafe, 2370 New London Turnpike, Coventry, Rhode Island. This is pages 27 to 28 in our packets. Do I hear a motion to approve the the license?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Discussion. Is there anyone here for this license? Oh, do you want to come to the microphone? Just state your name and address for the record, please. Sure. Great, thank you. You want to just talk to us a little bit about your business? Okay. Oh, the Tropical Smoothie Cafe over by Center New England. Okay. Manager Perillo, any comments? Members of the council discussion? Hearing none. Oh, Madam Clerk?
So we just need the sewer approval, proof that the bill is in the new owner's name, and then we can approve it.
Okay. So, I'd ask that we amend the motion to approve the license subject to the sewer, what did you call it?
The sewer,
The
The
sewer
bill.
application being transferred into
Right.
the new applicant's name.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes,
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
thank you very much. Item B, new 60-day hawker license, American Promotional Events Incorporated, doing business as TNT Fireworks, to be located at Walmart parking lot, 650 Center of New England, Coventry, Rhode Island, July 20th, 2024. Or that should be June 20th, I imagine. Madam Clerk? Yeah, that's today's date, right? Yep, through July 5th, 2024. This is pages 29 to 30 in our packets. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion to approve by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Discussion. Is there anyone here for this application? Anyone on Zoom for this application? Manager Perillo, any comments on this license? I just want to make sure. Yep, it's June 20th on the license. Okay. If there's no discussion from council members, Madam Clerk?
Just approving, pending the fire marshal. The tent needed to be erected, once the license was approved. And that should have happened on June 17th, and I haven't heard back yet.
Okay. So we'll amend the motion to approve the license subject to fire marshal approval.
Make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion from the council? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Item C, renewal of Bodyworks license, Massage Cosmo, 6 Coventry Shoppers Park, Coventry, Rhode Island. This is pages 31 to 36 in our packets. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Motion by
Second.
Vice President LeBlanc, second by Councilmember Shockley. Is there anyone here for this license? You just want to come on forward, state your name and address for the record. You just make sure the mic's on. Just gotta turn it. Yeah, there you go.
Joseph Perry, 18 Myra Road, Coventry, Rhode Island.
Thank you. I think you may have been in front of us already, but there was other things we needed, or no? I might be thinking-
No, I was here in February,
Okay,
and that's when the license originally got approved,
got it,
but it was only for so many months until it ran out.
got it. Okay. Manager Perillo, any comments? Council members? Madam Clerk? Okay. If there's no further discussion, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes,
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And lastly, in licenses, excuse me. Item D, application for fireworks license on June 22nd, 2024 by Pyrotechnico Fireworks Incorporated to be located at 40 Reservoir Road. June 22nd, 2024, 9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Rain date, June 27th, 2024. This is pages 37 to 38 in your packet. Do I hear a motion to approve the license?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Is this anyone here for this license? Anyone on Zoom? Manager Perillo, comments?
We will be utilizing the rain date. We just canceled Saturday's event due to some inconsistent weather. So instead of taking a chance with thunder and lightning and rain, we will be utilizing that rain date. This was out to bid. They were a little bidder for the fireworks, and they were also the crew that provided this service last year. So it was very good last year. I'm looking forward to another good performance this year.
Manager Perillo, if you could just let the public know why we moved to a weeknight instead of just a following weekend.
The cost was increased if we tried to do next weekend, plus the company was already booked for that next weekend. So we had to settle for Thursday the 27th.
Great. Any further discussion from members of the council? Madam Clerk? Please take the roll.
Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
At this time, I will seek a motion to take the agenda out of order.
Make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Discussion. We're just going to go into executive session first. No further discussion. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
At this time, I will take a motion to go into executive session for the following. A, executive closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Section 42-46-5A2 for litigation matters re Social Holdings LLC v. Town of Coventry and Town of Coventry v. Social Holdings. B, closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Section 42-46-5A2 for litigation matters re Nicholas E. Cambio, trustee, and others versus Commerce Park Realty and Matthew McGowan as receiver for Commerce Park Realty LLC and others versus Commerce Park Management LLC. Item C, executive or closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Section 42-46-5A2 for litigation matters re Licciardi v. Town of Coventry. And finally, D, executive or closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Section 42-46-5A2 for litigation matters re Matthew Jester and others v. the Zoning Board of Review of the Town of Coventry. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes,
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
we will now go into executive session. I want to clarify. that I don't disagree. It's just I'm of the same. It doesn't make it right for me. I feel like it's clear enough. At this time, I will take a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley, Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Could I have a motion to seal the minutes of executive session?
Make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Members of the public, the council met in executive session to discuss items A, B, C, and D on this evening's agenda. A discussion was had, no votes were taken. We'll now move to report of other town officers and officials. Item A, Stephen Angell, Solicitor.
I'm going to start with what most of the people are here for tonight, which is the resolution on Johnson's Pond. And I would ask the council to entertain a motion to table the resolution in the agenda and accept as a substitute 2024-42 that's been provided to you with exhibits, and we'll go through that with the public.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
So the council is clear and the public is clear. The substitute resolution 2024-42 includes exhibits. And it changes the title. There was a typo. There were a couple of other typos in the resolution that was initially presented. And we added exhibits 4, 5, and 6. And what I'd like to do, if we can bring that up and blow it up and share it with everyone, I'd like to walk the public through it. This is the resolution that will allow the town to go to court tomorrow and file a pleading for purposes of condemning Johnson's Pond with an eye toward having title in the pond vest in the town. We don't own it until title vests. That's what we're looking to do. If you'll allow me, I'm going to go through the resolution, and Dominic, I'm going to refer to the later exhibits first at some point, just so you're aware. So essentially, the council passed resolution 2437, which is exhibit 4. It's attached here. That is where the town manifested its intent to acquire the dam structures and land to protect the environment, ensure public safety, and to provide recreational use. None of that changes, okay? Just to be clear. Bootstrapping in the prior resolution to this resolution and bootstrapping in the prior ordinance, or they should say the ordinance that was passed, which I'll talk about in a minute, does not change what we're doing here at all, nor does this resolution change that ordinance or the prior resolution. This is merely the final step to be taken by the council legislatively. The public may be wondering what takes so long to get to this point. I will talk about that last. so that the public is clear. I'm also recommending, I had talked with the town manager earlier, and for those of you who are represented by the Johnson's Pond Association, I've talked with your attorney. We would like to have a public Q&A now that we can talk about some of these legal issues more publicly, so that you have a full understanding and I can provide you with the full background as I know it, and certainly the roadmap ahead as it's intended in our pleadings. So the second bullet point talks about considering the approval and adoption of an ordinance. We did that. That's ordinance 2024-03. It's included here as Exhibit 5, just so that you know. We had made an offer to Social Holdings for $1,527,000 to purchase the pond. We did that in good faith. That offer was unequivocally rejected. We worked to see if they'd be interested. Now that 1.5 offer was based on a taking of the entire basket of rights and footprint that Social Holdings obtained in its quitclaim deed with Quidnick. What we're doing is we are not condemning that entire footprint. We'll go over what we're not taking in a minute and what we are taking, just so that the public is clear. Dominic, if you can go to Exhibit 1. Exhibit 1 is a minor subdivision plan that has been done at my request in connection with what we need to do to condemn this. And just shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to move over here. So
Joanne, can you put your mic near Steve just so something can catch? So for people online. Like Bob Barker.
yeah, I feel it. I feel like a match game. The guy with the long microphone, right? Gene Rayburn. Anyway, this entire parcel is downstream from the dam and the spillway. Okay. We don't really care about this 69 acres of land. It's developable land, but it's not land that the town needs to own for purposes of attending to the affairs of Johnson's Pond, its recreational purposes, and the open purposes that the council wishes to create for public benefit. Okay. Why carve out parcel A? In talking with our engineers with respect to repairing the dam, its future maintenance and future use, this piece of land is necessary for the town to own in order that we accomplish the purposes of dam maintenance and repair. If you can go to Exhibit 2, please. Now, there you go. Just shrink it just a little bit more. There we go. This is what you know is Johnson's Pond and Flat River Reservoir. Okay. That's parcel A, that's parcel B, and we have identified this in our documents as parcel C. That's the pond. Okay. We're not taking B. We severed B away from what we want. So just so you can see, this is downstream. Access to this piece of land is off of Industrial Lane. Okay. Just as access to this piece of land, I'm sure you're familiar with the road that runs right by DPW. Okay. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So this, everything you see with the red dots, that's what we're taking. We're taking parcel A, which is this piece here, and we're taking parcel C, which is the pond. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Why do it that way? Because it costs the town less. It's just that simple. How much less? Our appraisers, in working with our land development experts, tell us that what we're taking, because we're actually taking a piece of somebody's property and we're taking all of their headache, only nets them about $157,000. They should have taken the 1.5. Part of what we've looked at, okay, in the legal terminology is what is necessary and advantageous that the town own. We consider parcel A, if you can go back, Dominic, if you wouldn't mind, to Exhibit 1. We consider parcel A, the green, to be necessary and advantageous, okay? We don't consider parcel B to be necessary and advantageous for the town to own. This resolution goes through that. You've seen that published with the materials for tonight's meeting. We just run through the exhibits for a minute. You've seen Exhibit 1, which is parcels A and B. That delineates what we're taking and what we're leaving. You see Exhibit 2, which is the minor subdivision plan that depicts the total footprint that the town is taking. That's attached to the resolution, and it specifically excludes parcel B. And Exhibit 3, there you go, is the meets and bounds description of each of the parcels, A, B, and C. And we've called A what you know is the pond up to the dam and the spillway. I beg your pardon, we've called the pond itself is C. A is the piece just after the dam and into the spillway and further downstream. And then B is the one that we're not taking. And we include the description there anyway, so that the court is clear.
Mr. Solicitor, what about the north basin on the property? Is that also part of what we're taking?
That's part of the footprint, as
Okay.
I understand it from the engineers.
Thank you.
Exhibit 4, we include Resolution 37, which manifests the town's intent to take, to pass an ordinance and to hold the property open for public use. That this resolution to condemn does not change any of the terms of that resolution. It does, however, change the footprint. All we're doing is taking less, 69 acres less. And Exhibit 6 is the quitclaim deed with the property description, which was part of the conveyance from Quidnick to Sosha on March 3rd, 2020. And I feel that this document, even with some minor alterations, will allow us to go to court tomorrow and do what we need to do to have court action on this matter. What court action are we looking for? There are a number of, this does not end the hostilities between the town and Social Holdings. There's an initial case that folks are acquainted with where we've been sued for failure to maintain. That case goes on. The case that the town initiated last summer, for all intents and purposes, is over. There was the case that talked about whether or not the town had insurance. We won that. That's over. And this particular matter will be litigated for the value of the property. They're going to fight about value. They're going to have to retain their own experts or beat up on ours. But the key thing that people want to know is, when does the town own the pond and the dam and parcel B? We own it when the court allows us to have what's called a vesting order. The court will order title be vested in the town at some point, and the matter will convert to a matter that simply is about fighting over value. How soon that happens? Well, we're in uncharted territory. I know there's been a lot of discussion about, what went on at Echo Lake in Pasco. I'm both young enough and old enough to know exactly what happened on Echo Lake in Pasco. And, the attorney for the Pond Association, Bill Landry, and I talked about it today. They're not the same. They're not related. This is unprecedented. And it's unprecedented that condemnation is being used in this context. There is no state statute that allows the town to do this. It's the town charter that allows us to do this. We are following a state framework that does exist for other matters that are similar, but not identical. So we are in uncharted territory a little bit, and that's why we've been very careful in what we've done. When I came here in November of 22, none of this work had been done, zero. We started it, this council gave me the authority to go ahead and start it with the experts in hiring an appraiser, in hiring engineers. The surveyor and the land use company that was involved in severing these parcels for us is DePrete Engineering. They created the minor subdivision plans. DePrete Engineering was used mainly because they were involved in the last survey work that involved this property, and they had a beginning point. If we did not go that route, we would have needed a court order to do an entire survey, which would have taken months, and we don't have months. And certainly the whole ball game changed on April 1st of this year. And I'm not going to get into the causation of what did or didn't happen in that first week of April. There'll be a time for that, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. I have been in touch with the Department of Environmental Management. Excuse me. Even lawyers run out of space.
Jerry liked that one.
In talking with the Department of Environmental Management, I've been in constant contact with them. They're the ones that are essentially the czar of the water level. My goal in talking with them is to put this pond as close to spillway for the remainder of the good weather as close as we can, which is certainly a hell of a lot closer than 40 inches, by implementing some immediate temporary shoring in the area of the face of the dam and the spillway. And I can say that with confidence after talking with our engineers at GZA about that. We've been working with them since April 1st to put our plan into place so that if we are in this position and the state allows us and the judge allows us, we will literally jump into the water and try to give folks a summer. That will, however, mean that most likely in the fall, we will move expeditiously for a reconstruction of that spillway and take whatever repairs are necessary to the face of the dam in a more long-term sense. We had the engineers look at it. It's too expensive to get into that riverbed, 2 and 3 times and do a little here and a little there. It's cheaper to do it all at once. And there are things now, of course, that need to be done. As you folks may be aware, the spillway is composed of a man-made spillway and a natural spillway. Man-made spillways can be fixed readily. Mother Nature's spillway cannot be put back. That's what our engineers tell us. Over time, it tamps itself down in place and acts as a natural splash pad. That natural splash pad has been excavated and most likely will need to be replaced with a permanent man-made spillway. So that's part of the repair costs that the engineers have taken into consideration. And we've communicated all of this to DEM. DEM has communicated to me that SOSHA has done very little in the way of anything in addressing their NOVs and fines and so forth. There's a new piece of litigation in Superior Court that the council has been made aware of outside of this that is DEM's pursuit of the fines and the costs, and separately from that is SOSHA's failure to comply in a more timely fashion with the immediate compliance order. When title vests in the town, and the council knows this, we accede to the interest of SOSHA Holdings in that compliance order. We will then be tasked with addressing that compliance order. We are prepared to do that, and we've had discussions with them. One of the things that I will tell you that has been a struggle in this matter upon inheriting it was not just inheriting it from a dead stop and push, but the fact that there really are wild inconsistencies as to the estimated acreage in this area. I'm not going to get into all of that tonight. There'll be a time for that. But we feel confident that certainly with the land descriptions that we have, and I say our professionals, our land use experts and our engineers are confident that what has been described here is the footprint. Okay, it is the footprint. So it's taken a while to get to this point. I know that public frustration is high. I know that frustration among certain council people is high also. But when title vests in the town, we control the destiny of what happens with Johnson's Pond. And after the filing tomorrow, we wait on the court to give us that vesting order. And we will keep you apprised. When we have that vesting order, we own it. And we'll move from there expeditiously. In the meantime, I think it's best if, the public have an opportunity for a Q&A of me and what I know. There's plenty that I can talk about now that I could not talk about before, as we were working on a lot of things, as the council is aware. So just to be clear, that what this resolution does is it condemns the pond. It directs me to take immediate action to have title in the pond and the other claimed land vest in the town of Coventry. And as part of that exercise, we have severed 69 developable acres of that land for social holdings to go and do as they please with it. And I'll take your questions.
Councilman Blank.
Thank you, Solicitor, for that update. I appreciate all the details that you've shared with the public. I know the public's been asking for it. I just have a clarifying question for you on the resolution as it currently stands. I'm specifically referring to Road 97 of the current resolution. It says public interest and convenience may make necessary or advantageous for environmental protection and conservation, public safety, and public access. What I want to focus on is that public access piece of it. On May 2nd of 2024, there was resolution 2024-37. It passed 5-0. We clearly defined public use of the pond, and we stated including but not limited to public access, boat ramps, parking facilities, and the like for public recreation and use. I just want to clarify that your understanding with the resolution as written, that still stands to this day.
That's correct.
Thank you.
If you'd like to add that language here, you're free to do that also.
If you're telling me it's included, then I'm good.
It is.
Any other questions, discussion from members of the council? So the solicitor and town manager will work together to set up a date for a public Q&A.
Yes.
Okay.
And I respectfully request that the council pass this amended ordinance subject to any other additions the council would like to make to it.
So we'll jump to resolutions. Item A, resolution 2024-42, re-condemnation of Flat River Reservoir, Johnson's Pond, its dam structures and land. Mr. Solicitor, would you prefer this be read, or do you just?
It doesn't need to be read.
Okay.
It's been published. It's entirely up to the council.
That's fine. Do I hear a motion to approve resolution 2024-42, the acquisition by eminent domain and condemnation of the pond, dam, and dam structures of Flat River Reservoir, as well as certain land necessary to effectuate the protection of the environment, to ensure public safety, and to provide recreational access to the public?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vice President LeBlanc,
A second it.
second by Councilmember Shockley. Discussion from members of the council? Let's take our town back. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Shockley,
Yes.
Vice President LeBlanc,
Yes.
President Lima,
Yes.
3 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Mr. Solicitor, the floor is back to you for item B of your report.
Yeah, the center of New England is another long existing nightmare in this town that we all seem to have inherited. So we've not talked about this publicly in a while, and I think it's fair that the public have an update. There's more good news. When I came into office in November of 22, there was essentially a global settlement of the troubles at center of New England for one developer to buy out of receivership all of the assets that existed both in this town and in other towns that comprise the center of New England. That deal fell through. Surprise, surprise. At that time, the town was slated as part of that deal to receive $3 million in compensation and some of it for taxes and other for sewer fees. And naturally, the question that I had at that point was, where's our proof of claim? We didn't have one. We never made one as a town. We also never perfected our tax liens. We never filed tax liens, never perfected them. There was nothing to perfect. And we didn't file a timely claim in the context of the receivership. So we used our leverage, knowing that a majority of this land was in the town of Coventry, and working with the receiver to assure that proceeds from the West Greenwich sale of property would be used to rehabilitate under the eye of the receiver center of New England Boulevard. In addition to that, lots 1, or I should say parcels 1 through 8 have been sold. The court has ordered them sold. The purchase and sales agreements have been signed, and they will be developed. Those are not going to come before the council because they're not a zoning issue. They're a planning issue. At the end of the day, as the crow flies, there's somewhere north of $500 million worth of tax revenue that will come into the town of Coventry, most likely within the next 3 to 7 years as a result of these parcels being responsibly developed. And when I say responsibly developed, I've pledged to the council and to the public that the solicitor's office has its eye keenly set on the plans of the developers to ensure that this is good development that meets the terms of the receivership and is consistent with what we believe to be the current state of zoning law as to certain aspects of this project. We have taken the time we are familiar with one of the developers on one of the parcels. The remaining parcels, 7 of them, were sold to an out-of-state developer that we've become very familiar with. And this on its face, it's Star Capital. They are a good developer from what we can see. They bring professionals to the table to talk about their plans. I'm going to recommend that we do a town hall workshop with the council and the public, probably use the high school, get some big screens and put the footprint of center of New England up on the screen so the public can see it. But what I can also share with the public is part of the plans that were developed with the receiver, the so-called wetlands crossover, which connects the center of New England Boulevard so that it runs all the way through to Hopkins Hill, will be completed as part of this. That will happen. And the receivership as it comes into monies from the sale of the parcels to the developer, those monies will be used to finish the road, as I said, finish the wetlands crossover. And it would appear to be a win for the town of Coventry, in a lot of respects, and puts this nightmare and, quite frankly, this eyesore behind us, at least in the foreseeable future. I think there will be the issuance of a construction schedule with respect to the road. I know the public will want to know about that. So will the council. When I have it, you'll have it. With the deal that was proposed in November of 22, that work was supposed to occur in August of 23. I'm told that work will commence, or was told that work would commence on this in August of 24. I don't know how true that is at the moment. We'll get that. We'll map it out for you so that you have it. And I'll take your questions if you have them on Center of New England.
Questions from the council? When was the original road laid, or that original layer?
Oh, God.
Was that like 97 when it
That was Cambio. Yeah. What you see now is the binder coat from the initial developer.
Wow. So for context, I think I was in first grade at Greenbush School in West Warwick. Thank you for your work on this. It's been a long time coming, and I look forward to further updates.
We've got a little ways to go, but
Yeah.
at least we've got traction, and we're on terra firma as opposed to some kind of slippery slope, I think, on both of these matters. So I will tell you, however, unlike Center of New England, we still have battles ahead of us with social holdings on a variety of lawsuits. But the most important thing is that the town controlled the destiny of the pond and the repairs, and getting that underway as quickly as possible. But, more importantly, to give the residents a summer back to the best extent that we can. So
Thank you. And thank you for your work on the entire issue with Flat River Reservoir. I look forward to the public Q&A where they can really understand just what a behemoth of an issue this has been for this council, starting in November of 2022. I hope there hasn't been question whether or not this council has ever not been dedicated to bringing this to a resolution and restoring it back to what we all know it as. So I especially want to thank Solicitor Angell. This has been such a learning experience for me, and something I'm obviously never going to forget. And I thank my colleagues up here for leaning in, the special meetings, over time, the hours spent discussing this. And I look forward to leaning in, continuing to lean in to make sure we finish the job. With that, we will move to public comment for undocketed items, those items not on our agenda this evening. Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, make sure the mic is on.
Make sure.
Yeah,
Hey, guys, this has been interesting. Stephen, nice job. Good explanations. Well, I live on a little pond, but we have some big issues. I know you can't comment tonight on these issues, but I wrote down some of my high points and,
oh, Jerry, name and address for the record, please.
oh, I'm sorry.
We know you, but the public.
Jerry Narkowitz, 21 Beach Street, Coventry, Rhode Island. Dan wrote a nice document tonight, gave me some comfort, but not all the comfort that I would like. So I give you my comments, and number one is, will there be cost to drive in the future? I know you can't answer me, but
Mr. Narkowitz,
yes.
the rest of the council doesn't know what you're referring to.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's true. You guys don't. I live on Lake Tioga, and Lake Tioga has a public beach that is currently wide open and accessible to all. residents, non-residents, anybody who wants to go in there can go in there. The gate opens up at 6 o'clock in the morning and closes at 7 o'clock. But because of the type of gate it is, if you're inside, you stay, and all you've got to do is drive up to the gate, and it opens up and it lets you out. But it also opens up and lets people in. So that means that people can be there till just about any time they want. Last night at 8:30, there was approximately 200 people in there. And there were, I believe, 6 police officers, 4 police cars. And there was very little that they felt they could do about the situation, which was very loud music, disrespectful usage of the facility. So I've been on the phone with Hillary. I've been via email with the town manager. Really appreciate you guys all getting back to me. I know you got lots of stuff going on. I can hear it. But this is important. So if you're going to have a gate attendant, are they going to charge a fee for people to come in? If they're not going to charge a fee, it's going to have very little value. So everybody will just come in anyways. And I didn't write these really in order of significance, but they're still high points. So without a cost, there's no respect there for anybody, including that person that's going to sit at that entrance. Do the police, or will the police have arresting power in the future? My discussions last night with the police were, we're really handcuffed on what we can do out here. There was marijuana smoking, there was drinking, just really improper behaviors in a public setting. How will the police, after this new process gets put into place, how will they remove the people at 7 p.m.? Last night, those people just said to the police, we don't have to leave. We can leave, go out through the gate anytime we want. So how will that change with this new policy? How strong is that individual that's going to be on there at 7 o'clock? People last night were really rude to residents as well as to the police. Maybe my age, but I just found it so awful to hear. So awful. If they close the gate or they don't let people in who don't pay, and they put signs on the roads like you had suggested, great idea, will they just ticket or will they call a towing company? I'm pretty sure the people who live on those streets will be really unhappy if people just get a ticket and not have the cars towed away. So who will support the part-timer? I know you indicated that the police will come and help him or her with removing people who refuse to leave, like last night. It was just total refusal. How strong is this person? And I don't mean strong of physical being, but strong of he can take a harassment and verbal hits. How strong is it for her? Last night, the police told me that the music fit under the requirement for the decibel level. Now, maybe when they were there, but I can tell you that it is really loud, and I can hear it inside my house. And this time of year, not too often, I have my house air conditioned. Easily hear it inside my house through the windows. So I don't know how and I know that's a really tough ordinance. I remember reading about Newport with motorcycles. I know it's a tough one. And all they got to do is lower it when the guy comes up with the gun. And that's the end of it. It meets the decibel level and it's no big deal. It's a very difficult ordinance. how will the gate attendant monitor the drinking and marijuana and other illegal things going on in that park when there is nobody there? Tonight, when we were leaving, I just took a ride through 55 cars. I don't know how many people were there, but 55 cars. I mentioned to Hillary tonight at the fundraiser that, is there a fire code against that? There's only one entrance and there's only the one gate. And I can tell you that 55 cars trying to get out of there with a fire going on or an assault going on or something else going on that makes it very hostile. And that place will back up. I don't even want to think about how that would go. So I leave you with these concerns. They're real. They're really real. I'm absolutely shocked that we have not had any kind of problems that are significant for the town. People are in there swimming. I don't know where they swim to. You don't have the buoys out to prevent them from going out deeper. I don't know where you pick up your liability. I don't know any of that. I just know that it seems like a dangerous situation. So I leave you with that. I know you can't answer me. I would love you to be able to, but I do understand. If you'd like me to come back and speak to you where you can address me, I will be glad to do that. I don't lose my composure. I will try really hard to be a good teammate. And that's the best I can do. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for listening. I wish you guys all a wonderful night. Nice job.
Thank you. Any other members of the public here in council chambers, public comment on undocketed items? On Zoom, please raise your hand to be let in. State your name and address for the record. Public comment on undocketed items. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Public comment on undocketed items is now closed. At this time, I will take a motion to adjourn at 8:15 p.m.
Make a motion.
Motion by Vice President Blank,
Second.
second by Councilmember Shockley. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.